Hello everyone! Welcome to another video here on Vizzcode's YouTube channel. Today we are going to program a classic computer science algorithm, the sorting algorithm. So there is a lot of different implementations to the sort algorithms. There's the easy ones, there's the hard ones, and there's the middle ones. We're gonna program one that is somewhere here in the middle, kind of easy, but that doesn't make a lot of unnecessary comparisons. So unnecessary comparisons. I'm sorry. So let's start. So it's really cool. This algorithm. Everybody that is in a computer science course will have to implement it somewhere in the course. But it's also great to learn from people that are not in the computer science yet or that didn't take the course, because it's an algorithm that will help you think logically how to sort a set of numbers, and it's really easy to implement. Mainly if you use visual language, because it's really easy to get started, and you can also use the text here on Vizzcode, so you can get the best of both worlds, programming on visual language and also on text. So let's jump here on Vizzcode. I'm gonna open a new project. Let me call it sorting. So that's the main screen of Vizzcode. You can get Vizzcode on vizzcode.com website. So here is the visual programming screen. So we're gonna use this one first. So let's think of the problem first before implementing it. So we're gonna have a array. So array is a set of numbers that will be out of order. So it will be a bunch of random numbers. What we have to do is to sort this array and then print it after we finish. So let's start creating a new array and filling it with random numbers, and then print this array to see if it's actually in random numbers. So let's start importing two libraries. So the first one will be the IO, input and output, so we can print on the screen, and also let's import the random library so we can use random numbers. And after that we have to create the main procedure. That's where we're going to put all the commands here in this program. So here on the right the text just appears, so you can edit here on the left, and the code will appear, and you can also code here using text what you think it's best. So for this one we're gonna use mainly the visual, because it's easier for you guys to visualize. So let's start creating a new array. So we're gonna create a new variable. Let's call it array, and we can click here on the little squares so we can make it an array. And an array needs to have its type defined, so we're gonna create an int array with the size equal to 10. So that's 10 numbers of the integer type. So let's put some random numbers inside the array. To do that we're gonna use the for loop. The for loop, it's similar to the while loop, but the for it's more specific. You usually go from one number to another without testing a condition, unlike the while. The for is perfect for arrays because you can go through from the first position of the array until the last position. So we're gonna do something here that's really cool. Instead of using the number 9, that's the size, the array, because the array goes from position 0 to 9. That's 10 positions in total. But instead of using the last position 9, we're gonna use the array size. So if we change this position here, we don't have to go back to the code and change all the places that we hard coded the positions. So we're gonna use the array count, so we can count the numbers, the number of positions in the array. But there is one thing, remember that the size of the array is 10, so this one will return 10, but we don't want to go until the position 10 because the array starts on position 0, so it's 0 to 9, so we have to subtract here 1, so we can go from 0 to 9. and inside the for loop we're gonna set we're gonna use the set node, so we can set a variable. So we're gonna access the array subscript, so we can access each position of the array. So that's the array. Oops, I'm sorry, I think I've pushed here. Oh, sorry, I've called another function here instead of pushing from this node. So now that's good, it's back. So let me go like this, so it's gonna be clear. So starting from the array, now that's right, until the position it. So the cool thing about the for here on Vizzcode is that it already declares a variable for you. So if you were using the while, you would have to create a variable to iterate through the loop, but the for loop automatically creates the variable it. There we go, from 0 to count -1. So it's pretty useful. So you can access the array on the position it. So you're gonna access all the positions of the array and the value that you wanna put inside. Oh, it's not random float, it's random int, because the array it's an integer array. So we're gonna go from -500 to 500. So we're gonna get a random number here in this interval. So we're gonna put like this to make it more organized. So that's initializing the array with random numbers. If we compile and run, nothing will happen because we didn't tell the computer to print the array. So we need to print the array so we can check if it is initialized correctly. To print the array, we're gonna use another for loop. Remember that this first for is here in the scope. This set is in the scope of the first for, so we're gonna put inside the loop. But the second for will be on the scope of the main procedure. So we're gonna follow the execution of the main procedure. In here we open a new scope. Everything inside the for can follow this node here. So let me get back to this for. I'm gonna do the same. We're gonna subtract. I'm gonna subtract 1 from array count. What's the array? We're gonna use the array R. So we're doing the same thing that we did before, but now we're gonna print an int. To print an int, we're gonna use the array subscript to access each position of the array, and we're gonna access the position it from the iterator, and we're gonna print a new line here so you can get all organized when we print it. So before executing running the program, let's check here what we did. So here we are in the first for. We are initializing the array at the position it, the iterator variable that goes from 0 to array size, the array count -1. And this variable is declared automatically inside the for. So we're setting a random number from -500 to 500. And here on the second for, we are printing the array. So we print int r in the position it to iterate through the entire array, and we're printing a new line. So let's run, and that's it, guys. That's a array with 10 numbers, and all the numbers are random, so they're not sorted yet. So that's what we're going to do now. So if we keep running the program, we get new different numbers. And so let's do the sorting. So now it's where the thing starts to get serious. So again, we are executing outside the for, so in the scope of the main. So we can rearrange the nodes so you can get all organized for we guys. So let me put like this. And before starting the for, let me create a new variable. There will be the temporary variable, so we can store the number that we're gonna change. Because let me explain you guys how we're gonna do this sorting. We are going to need two fors. the external 4 and the internal 4. The internal 4 will be, of course, inside the external 4. So we're gonna have two variables iterating in the array. The first one, in the external 4, will iterate through the entire array. So we're gonna start in the position 0 and go until the position 9. The second 4, the one inside the external 4, will start in the position from the external 4 plus 1. Practically what is going to happen, so if you are in the position 0, the first iteration of the 4, in the internal 4 we're going to start in the position 1. So we have two variables, the one in the external 4, that's it, and in the internal 4, it 2. So the it will be in the position 0, and in the it 2 will be in position 1, 2, 3 until 9. And what we're going to do, we're going to compare if the value on the position 0 is bigger, is larger than the one in the position it 2. So we can sort the array. It may be a little confusing, but once we implement, it's gonna be clear. I didn't draw, so you guys can start visualizing using the computer's commands, so you can understand clearly how the for works. Let me open the window here. The sun was going directly here. Now it's better. So let's start with the 4, the external 4. So here we have the external 4 starting from 0 to array size -1. So array count. So which array? The array R. So this one you guys can understand because that's the same thing that we did before. But now we're going to have another 4 inside this 4. So we'll have the internal 4. To do this, we need to change the number of the iterator variables, so we can have two different variables. So that's the it1. And the first position here will be the it will be the it variable plus 1. I did just 2 pluses, sorry for that. So what we are doing here is we are starting this 4 on the position, the next position available after the external 4. We do this so we don't have to compare a lot of unnecessary numbers, because we know that everything behind the it variable is already sorted. So if this number here started from 0, we were comparing some numbers that we knew that were sorted. So that's why we do this like this. There are other sorting algorithms like the quicksort that is even better, but it's more complex to program, so I decided to use this one. So we're gonna go until the last position of the array, just like the external 4. The quicksort is awesome, but this one is better for people that are starting to get used to programming, so that's why I chose this one. So we're gonna go in the position array count -1. So that's it. So now inside the second 4, so everything that is inside the second 4 is looping twice, here and here. So how it works? It loops the entirely here on the internal 4, and then it goes back to this 4 here, and then it changes the variable to the next one, and then it enters here, and then it loops until the last one, and then it's gonna keep going like this. Let me put an if statement. So what we're gonna do here is we're going to compare if the number, oops, not plus, subscript. We're going to compare if the number inside the position it of the array is greater than the number inside the position, so array subscript inside the position it2. So the position it2 is ahead of the position it1. So what we're doing here is if the number here from the position it is greater than the one from the next position, we have to change these two numbers so we can sort the array. So that's what we're going to do here inside the if. To do that, we're going to use the set to change the values. So now that we are going to use the temp variable, so we can hold the variable here on the array subscript on the position it. After that, what we're going to do is set again, but now the array subscript in the position, not subtract, array subscript, I'm sorry guys, array subscript. Now what we're going to do is the array here on a position it will receive the number from the same array but in the position it2. And now lastly, the array in the position it it2 will get the value temp, because the temporary value holds the value that was in the position it. So let's compile. The compilation was successful. Before we jump ahead, let's before we run, we have to test to put the print again so we can see the numbers. I'm gonna print before the sorting the print saying that we're now sorting. So that's sorting. I'm gonna put 2 so we can break the line. And now I'm gonna copy here so you guys can see how it works, changing the text so you guys can see here. And now I'm adding. Did you see, guys? So now it's automatically here. What I did was I copied the 4 that prints the array. So let's compile and let's run. So here we have the array with random numbers, and now we have the sorted array. You guys can see that it's perfectly sorted. Let me run again, and it works one more time, and it's working pretty good. So let me jump back here on the text code so we can review the program, so to see if you guys understood completely. So we started initializing the array, then we put some random numbers. We put some random numbers inside the array. We printed the array with the random numbers, and now we started the sorting algorithm. So we have 2 fors, one that is going from the position 0 to the last position of the array, and an internal for that is going from the position 1 ahead of the position that is currently on the external for until the last position. We do that so we can run like this. So the external for is here in the array, so it's comparing the values ahead of the array. So if any of these values is greater than if this value here is greater than anyone ahead of it, we change these values so we can sort the array. So and it's starting from the position ahead, so we don't do any necessary testing here. And if the value behind is greater than the one ahead, we change the value. So we use the temp variable so we can store the value on the position it. And now so the position it can get the value on the position it2, and then we put the value on the position it to the value that was before on the position it. So that's it, guys, and then we print. Let me put it again. You guys can check that's the same numbers here, so it works perfectly. I hope you guys understood everything about the sorting. If you guys don't have the Vizzcode on your computer yet, you can go to the Vizzcode website, vizzcode.com, and register to get started. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment below what you think about this sorting algorithms, and subscribe to the channel so you can keep following some awesome programs that we're gonna develop here on this channel using Vizzcode. So bye guys, see you next time.